Could you tell them what sort of a person you are?
I don't know at all. I just live moment to moment. So you cannot confine me into a personality. You cannot define me. You cannot predict me. I don't know even myself what I am going to do tomorrow morning. I am simply as open as the existence and as indefinable as the existence itself.
What's up, guys? Welcome back again. Goddamn. Today, special guest. Couldn't be more excited to have my good friend here, Sandy. Thank you for being here.
It's great to be here.
I really appreciate you doing it.
Beautiful day.
It is, and hopefully more to come.
Definitely.
The reason I got you here today, and generally when I ask someone to be on this show, it's because I feel like they offer some kind of, valuable insight that people could take something from.
Well, that's good. I appreciate that.
Yeah, of course. And I've told you this, so it's not going to come as a surprise to you, but I think, I look up to you a lot, and specifically for today's, base topic, we can spin off and talk about whatever you want. There's no fucking rules here, so
Right.
Whatever you want to do, whatever you want to say, by all means, the floor is yours. But when I think of you, because I'm a father, first thing that comes to mind is you are an amazing father. And I see the way you act with people around you, and you've told me a little bit about your children, and I'm just like, fuck, man, this is somebody that I aspire to be like.
That's good.
And so that's why I brought you here.
Wonderful. I appreciate the comments. What you said about me. I'm glad it resonates to you, and you feel that coming from me, because that's kind of a goal in life, is raise a good family and make sure you raise good people in the same time.
Yeah.
Helping others out, make sure people see that, so you know what good looks like.
Yeah, and spreads, right?
Exactly.
If you have that kind of energy, ideally, it'll sort of translate to the people around you.
Yeah. Got to lead by example, right?
Absolutely.
Yes.
100%, and you're a perfect example.
Thank you.
So, with that being said, why don't you give yourself, a little introduction, a little backstory, because this is about you today.
It's an important thing. Well, I guess so. So, Sandy, as you said, born and raised Colorado. Been here for 50 years. Southern Colorado, to be exact, where I started out. Kind of migrated north in northern Colorado back in the mid-90s. Just kind of needed a big change. Came up here, kind of just basically planted some roots. And along with life, with anything, you get jobs wherever you can, whatever feels good at the time. So, I'm educated to a point. What's education count for? Educated in work, in life, everything, just about. You ask me about something, I'll give you good factual information about it, or I'll give you an opinion on it.
Okay.
But always educated opinion. I don't want to make up stories or say, well, I heard from, but
Yeah.
I don't
So
do
firsthand.
Yeah,
the
exactly.
best hand.
And the odds are I probably lived it. So
Okay.
if you think I did it, I did it. Good or bad, I probably did it some way or another.
Okay. Cool. And you say you've been here for about 50 years.
I was born
Did I
and
hear
raised
you
here.
right?
Yes, that's
Okay.
correct.
Okay. Seems like a lot.
It seems like it and it feels like it every day. When you
Okay.
get out of bed and your knees hurt and your back hurts, it feels like 50.
Oh, damn. Well, you look good, man.
Thank you, I appreciate that.
Whatever your skin routine is, just keep it up.
It's nothing, it's all natural.
Okay. All right. Well, I appreciate that. And so your work, you're educated. Did you educate yourself specifically for something, or were you kind of the way you sort of illustrated it makes me think that you didn't necessarily have an idea of what you were trying to do?
No, really not. In the beginning, going through middle school and high school. Middle school was kind of a big joke to me because I hated middle school. It was just a rough time. You're hormonal, You know,
You're
a lot of the
puberty.
outside of the stuff, yeah, you're puberty and you're growing up, and just a lot of things are coming in strong, and you're kind of getting pulled a bunch of different ways, and sometimes you go the bad way, sometimes you go the right way. My parents always kind of led me on the right path. They gave me the ability to make my own decisions on life and religion or whatever.
Let you fail if you needed to.
Exactly. They never judged me for it, so I kind of just made my way to the path. It took longer than expected. I wish it would happen sooner than later, but unfortunately, fortunately, it did work out in the end the way I wanted it. But education-wise, no, I really didn't. I kind of wanted to go into a lot of sciences, biological. Got through high school thinking that, got through college thinking that.
Like human anatomy type things?
Yeah, biology, physiology, and then it kind of just turned into psychology where I was talking to people, doing counselor things. And I got to a point in life where I was kind of just like, I don't want to do this. I love people, but there's people that I hate. And I don't want to do that thing if I'm not into it all the way.
Yeah.
I still help people, counsel people, friends and family and stuff like that, but I didn't want to do it as full-time.
You don't do it occupationally.
No.
You do it more out of the
Just out of being a good person.
Okay.
You just want to help people.
Yeah.
Somebody just needs to hear. Somebody just needs to talk to somebody. And
Yeah.
that's it. That's all you need sometimes. I've talked to people and they cry for 30 minutes, and I'm like,
Yeah.
you feel better? Yeah, I do. But after that, I just kind of stepped into government work. It wasn't what I was thinking I was going to do. It fit well for me. It kind of brought in all the stuff that I needed to because I was versed in, farming, money, counseling, hearing people cry, people happy, sad. So
Yeah.
it works for me. I can't lie. Benefits are excellent, but
Sure.
I still get to help people out to this day now. So it works for me. And we work together at the other place, the pizza place, and that's another thing too. It's to help out people there too.
Yeah.
And then it's a chance to, you kind of go back, because I'm older, I get to come back and I get to hang out with the younger generation.
Yeah.
Learn about their things, because I have a young one at home. So,
Yeah.
what she's doing and what they're doing are kind of the same thing. So it's
Yeah.
a better understanding. Plus, it makes you feel kind of young when you're doing that young stuff still.
You think so, man?
It definitely does.
When I went back there, I was like, holy shit, I feel old with these kids.
Yeah, it's all a state of mind if you think about it.
Yeah.
You talk to them, you can relate to them, and it's actually a chance to guide them
Yeah.
in the right direction, because now
Yeah. In
they're
that-
at a
in
time
that
they're
sense.
susceptible to doing something wrong, and I'm like, you know what, have your fun, but remember, tomorrow's the next day, and if it was a bad decision, it's going to follow you, so
Yeah.
be careful.
Yeah. All goes into what you said about, guiding and letting that,
Of course, yeah,
letting them learn for themselves, but
course.
encouraging the right thing.
of course, yes.
And you couldn't have said that more perfectly to make me look good to Josh right now, because I was just telling Josh before you got here, just giving a little backstory. I was like, this dude, he's really cool. Gave him the same hype that I gave you. Like, I really like this. I think he's a great guy. I think he's an amazing father. He's all the things that I told you, but then I explained to him. He's like, where'd you guys meet? And I was like, well, at my side job. It's kind of both of our side job.
Mm-hmm.
But when he comes in there, you come in and it's hard to put a pin on exactly what it is you do there, because you kind of fucking do it all.
Yeah.
But what I notice is you don't come in with any kind of selfish motivation. And I was explaining to Josh, like, drivers, when they come in, they want to take as many deliveries and do as much as they can for themselves, and fuck the store
Mm-hmm.
and everyone else in it. You kind of come in and you help make everybody's job easier, whether it be the drivers not having to take as many deliveries, because I could give you 5 or 6 and
Mhm.
know you're going to be back in 30 minutes, probably
Yeah.
because you lived here most of your life.
Yeah, I've been there, done that.
And then you come in the store, and if there's 3 or 4 deliveries, you're like, hey, take me off for a little bit, I'll go do some dishes or sweep up or something to make work on the insiders a little easier. And I really fucking appreciate that
Yeah.
in a lot more ways than just occupationally.
Yeah.
That's when I try to explain, why do you think they're a good person, why do you think this, it's those little acts, you know what I mean,
Mhm.
that are not self-motivated. And I think they demonstrate a lot, because you could say you're a good person, you could say, oh yeah, this, and I could say this, but like the things that you do is what demonstrates that, and you do a really good job.
Well, I
of that.
appreciate that.
And I told you the other night when we were working together, like, fuck, man, it's a noticeable difference when you're in the store,
Yeah.
and I think that's a good thing.
Yeah, and it is. It's you know, if you have the skills to do something better than everybody else, and I'm not saying I'm the greatest person ever,
Sure.
but if you have the opportunity to use those skills to help somebody else to make the night go better, it works for everybody. It works for me, it works for you, it works for all the other people driving, it works for all the people that are making the stuff. It's a perfect scenario. And you notice, you know, it's just kind of a harmony thing. I'd rather be there, the music's going, everybody's happy, instead of somebody just being grumpy saying, I'm not getting this or I'm not getting that.
Yeah.
So it's just kind of going in there, you know. There's things that I need from the store or want from the store, but overall, everybody's more important than just my selfish, you know, as just kind of a word, selfish thing.
Right.
But I'm just there to help.
Yeah.
It was never there, I'm gonna go do this and I'm gonna be the boss. It's just I'm there to help. I'm here to make sure everything runs smoothly.
Yeah.
Make it easier for everybody, because what's the point?
It's a great,
you know?
great leadership characteristic.
I would hope so, yeah.
know?
I really do, you know?
We-
Everybody has the opportunity to do that at any time. Doesn't matter which aspect of life that you're in, where you're at, if you could help somebody out, you'll figure out a way to do it. And you'll notice just how much people get out of it, and you feel it.
Yeah.
If I do it and you're feeling it, hopefully somebody else is feeling it too.
Yeah.
That's a good feeling.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, unfortunately, I wouldn't say that it's as common as you make it sound. You know, if everyone could, you know, if anyone can do it, then why not? You know, I think there's a certain something, and you know, as I'm hearing and learning a little bit about you, maybe it's the way you were raised. Like you said, your parents, they kind of let you do your thing, and I feel like you probably have a lot of similar, the same way you are in the store is a lot of the same way that you raise your kids. And, you know, a lot of it might come from the way that you were raised and demonstrated. And I think about that a lot too, and I was actually gonna pick your brain about something today that's actually a real thing in my life and see your thoughts on it, because, you know, I'm not just saying that I look up to you as a father. I actually believe it, and I would like to get your advice and your input on something.
Of course.
So I have a 15-year-old son,
Mhm.
right? Great kid, man. Way better than I was. You know, I didn't grow up with my dad, so I didn't really have a good relationship with a male figure. You know, my stepdad, you know, wasn't great. You
Yeah.
know, where I'm not gonna talk shit on anyone here online or whatever.
Yeah.
But needless to say that it wasn't like the relationship that my son and I have. And it's been really great. And last year he was in 9th grade, academic letter, 3.9 GPA, you know, never missed school, you know, good friends, attentive. So it was almost kind of easy. I really didn't have to do much. This year he's pubing a little harder, you know, 10th grade now. And just had parent-teacher conferences, and it's just not, it's not flowing like it was last year. He's sleeping in class, you know. He's not off doing things that I was doing when I was his age.
Of course,
I don't
yeah.
even know if I was still in school in
Yeah.
10th grade, depending on what semester we're talking. But he, you know, I'm thinking about different ways to approach this. And I know he's like, he's on his phone at night, you know, staying up, talking to whoever he's talking to, playing games with his friends, whatever. And I've never really been that structured with him about phones off at this time, blah, blah, blah. Never did I do that last year. Kind of just like you said, I encourage him to do the right thing, but I'm going to let him find out. I'm going to let him make his mistakes. But now I'm in a position where I feel like I have to almost insert myself more, because there's actual, you know, problems arising. And, you know, I don't believe that I should take his phone. You know, I don't think that's going to teach him anything. He's already at the point where he's growing. He's damn near grown. What is
Right.
that going to say, you know, if I have to make his decisions for him? And I catch myself thinking, like, what would Sandy do, you know? And so now I'm asking you, in this kind of situation, if you could sort of put yourself in my shoes, what would be an approach that you might take to that?
So that's a good one. So what I'm hearing is basically you have a normal, typical teenage 15-year-old boy.
Yeah,
And he's gonna
as
do
I'm
it-
sure a lot of people do. So this could help.
He's
you
going
as
to do
well.
whatever he wants to do right at this point. So just a couple things, just throw them out there. I have girls, so I'm in a different shoe.
Okay.
Now, if I step back to myself when I was younger, in this generation, snatching the phone away, taking it away, shutting it off at night, gonna work. Go to 7-Eleven, go to Target, get a burner, boom, done. problem solved.
Yeah.
They're going to find a way around it.
Yeah. 100%.
They're going to have 2 phones, and then you got to worry about the underhanded things they could be doing on one phone and the other phone. So is it bad? Yeah. You know, like you said, do I just kind of let them go through the motions and figure out to do the right thing, do the wrong thing? You're going to have to. There really is, to me, no real concrete, perfect, perfect answer to this, because every kid's different.
Right.
What your goal is you're trying to make yourself and your family better than the generation before. So the father before that, they try to make it better. They make it better. And right now, it's my opportunity to make the family structure better. You're striving to do that. I think the boy just kind of hit into a little dead spot. Maybe his high school is like my middle school years. They were rough. I was being pulled different ways. It may have just come a little bit later. He's just not sure of himself. Like, when's the last time you possibly complimented him on something that he did? It's like, Dad, I already know I got an academic letter. Like, are we having these daily conversations with him? Hey, how'd the day go? All right, Dad. Tell me about it, a little bit about it. I have a friend at work that has a kid your age, and I want to help him out because he's having problems.
Yeah.
Give him that situation, saying, well, maybe he'll respond with something genuine and give you some feedback. I think that's what you really kind of
Open
need.
up a little bit.
Yeah, because you could guide your kids. You can't be there 24/7 because you got to work. You got to provide support for them.
Yeah.
But
they don't want you there 24/7.
you got to have that opportunity. Set a date, saying, let's do Red Robin night. Me and you, let's go out. At the movie night, that's our night. That's the night we always go through. Set some structure with something fun with them to have a good time, but not saying, hey, I want you off the phone at 10 o'clock and that's all there is to it.
Yeah.
Just set some little schedules there, and then he kind of succumbs to like a schedule that's good for him and good for you. Even if you think you might be like, well, I want to get my dad off my back, so I'm going to go hang out with him at the burger joint or whatever.
Yeah.
It's just an opportunity to try to get some structure, to get some, dad-son time.
Yeah.
That's what I think the best thing you could do. You asked one of the most impossible questions in the world
Well, I'm glad I did, man.
to answer.
I'm going to ask you another really hard one later at the end of this.
Yeah.
But I do, and you know what? That's great, man. That is really great, and
Yeah.
I really like that.
Just don't dwell on one thing, just kind of, try to make it better, make it feel better. If he feels better, he's going to feel better around you. It's not like you're beating him or punching him or screaming at him. You may
Not
get a
every
little
day.
upset. Hey, what are you doing? It's going to happen. He's saying, I tell you this is a big thing. Try to refrain from saying, well, when I was younger,
Oh, yeah.
I did that. I have a problem doing that. It's very hard to get rid of.
You
it's
mean
hard
you have a problem yourself doing that?
telling my kids that,
Yeah,
because
yeah.
what it does is saying, well, Dad did it when he was smaller. And I'm like, shoot, that was the wrong thing I should have said.
Yeah.
I did some bad things, but I learned from it and made myself a better person. How
Yeah.
about that? Because it gives them the opportunity to go, well, Dad did it, and he's fine.
Yeah.
But at what cost? What did it cost you? Well, here we are.
Right.
So, they're going to make mistakes, letting them do things. You kind of just got to let the leash go. My generation's different generation than your generation and your son's generation. That's it.
Things change.
Is one worse than the other? Yes. The newer ones are horrible. Ours are different. Ours are better.
Yeah.
No, but it goes.
It
goes
progressively
both ways.
gets worse as they
You
go.
can. You think about the 40s, 50s. You stayed at home. You got married when you were young. You raised a family, a farm, and everything, and life was great. And now here we are. Is it like that? No. There was a lot of underlying issues
What
back
can we
then.
do,
So we just go with the flow. We take the punches. We try to understand. We make ourselves better. We try to tell them, try that thing with them. You know what? I'm trying to make myself better because my youth years with my stepdad and my dad were horrible.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to make my time with you better than what it was before. Let's try to move forward, make it better.
Absolutely, and I feel like that's a lot of my style as a parent, is empathizing, like you said, thinking back when I was that age, especially because the question I posed to you is centered around sort of the male puberty, and you've dealt with mostly females, but you were also a young man growing up at one point.
Yes.
And I think a lot of the things that I have, because I don't have great examples to pull from as a father or a great parenting, kind of things that I could remember back and be like, oh yeah, I always think about like how did my parents do something when I was younger that made me feel a certain way? And more often than not, made me feel like shit. And so I really, at all costs, try to avoid doing those types of things. And so far, it's worked out great. And like you said, I'm really big on positive encouragement and positive reinforcement. And maybe that's been working really good, and I just don't even realize it. But I think the idea of making a day to spend time together to keep that relationship strong, because I think there's something to be said about making your parent proud versus not disappointing them. You know what I mean?
Right.
Not being afraid of them.
Yeah.
Or afraid of a consequence, but believing in yourself and like you said, being encouraged the right path. And I'm sure the mistakes that you made, you mentioned earlier that you kind of wish that you would have learned sooner. Maybe there are some important lessons in you.
Oh, of course.
Having to learn it the way you did.
Of course.
That made you who you are.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I really appreciate that insight.
Oh yeah.
Man.
Yeah.
To anyone out there raising teenagers, I think
Good luck. Sorry.
great luck, and as a overall, not like a cookie cutter, not everything works for everyone, and everyone's different. But I think that's a really generally good approach to take. Empathize.
It should be. It's my honest opinion. It's just what I'm seeing. It's just try to set a tradition or something. Like I said, the burger night. We didn't have a lot growing up. It didn't kill me. I was always doing sports or whatnot, and I never had an opportunity to be home. Then when I got older, it was kind of just like, hey, this day, let's do this. And now that I'm married, it's kind of like family dinner on Sunday, and I'm like, hey.
Yeah.
Even though I don't say yay, it feels good.
Inside you do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, what are we going to do? Well, Christmas Eve, we're going to do this. Thanksgiving, the day before, we're going to do this. Those little things, you start wanting to be part of something,
Yeah.
You want bring people in. So it's a good thing, why not start there,
Yeah.
I think it would be a good thing.
Thank you, man. That's really powerful. I appreciate it. And as far as growing up, it's going to kind of tie into the question I would like to get to now. I think at this point, there's a little bit of an understanding of what kind of person you are. Hopefully people can see the reason why I wanted to bring you here. Because like I said, it's pretty evident. But the title of this podcast, as it's affectionately known, God Damn, right? What made me think of that is, going through my own spiritual experiences, sort of scoffing at the idea of God for a lot of my life, until my mom's actually the one who got me really thinking about it, and it was kind of about AA, because I was sort of trying to quit drinking. I realized that it was an issue for me, and I was trying to better myself. So my mom was kind of asking me about AA, and I was like, AA, I can't do the whole God thing. I've never been religious, as it were. And she's the one that was like, well, it's not really God as it's told. It's God as you understand him. So I asked her, I was like, what is God to you? And my mom told me God is something that I can take all the things that I'm worried about that are outside of my control and hand them over and not have to stress about it and stay up every fucking night and worry about it. And I was like, damn, all right, I'll give this fucking thing a shot.
Right.
And as I immerse myself into it, I hear the word God so much, and so many different, sort of outlooks on what the idea and the concept of that is behind each person. And I've heard so many different great things, and I'm just like, damn, like there should be some kind of show on YouTube about, all the different kind of, what it could mean, because really there's no way of knowing for sure until we die. Right? But I would like to know, now that, we kind of have an understanding of a little bit of the type of person that you are, Sandy, what is God to you? What is your concept? What is your idea? What is your belief of God?
To me, it could be a lot of things. But to me, God is basically everything that's good in the world that makes you a better person so you could help others. Like you said, you do this at work, and this is what I feel, and this is everything. That's God. He said, hey, Sandy, I need you to do this for me. And, you know, even though he doesn't tell me directly, I take it in and I do what I need to at work, for example, and you feel that. So you could feel that. And you know others feel it too, because you feel stress being relieved when we're at the workplace. And this is just an example.
When you're there.
Yeah. And I'm not by any means the holiest person in the world. I'm a bad person. I'm always going to be a bad person. I do bad things every day. We all do. We're not perfect.
Okay.
But God says, help others out. Do it. Either money-wise, either labor-wise, you know.
Be a shoulder for them to cry on.
Somebody to listen to. It's just a good thing. It's God can mean so many different things at so many levels, and people just don't understand that. It doesn't have to be the AA. It doesn't have to be, well, I want to go to church. But what are you doing at home that's making others feel better or yourself better? What are you doing at home? What is God doing to you? Without even using the word God, you could still be godly or godlike. You'll never be the capital G-O-D, but give out something that's going to make you feel that presence. Because people ask me, you know, why the God thing? And I'm like, well, I grew up I grew up Catholic. And I always kind of had it in my ear. He was always whispering, hey, don't do that. Hey, good job. Hey, do this. And it kind of got to the point, you know, luckily I met my wife and she was more religious than me. And it kind of went more in the right direction. But I was like, hey, God started this. He kind of led me down the path and got me to where I needed to be. It was rocky and it was horrible. But did I end up at a good point? Yes. And am I going to the right place? We're going to find out. Like you said, you know, we're never going to find out until we're dead. Well, I'm past that point. I already know where I'm going when I die. There's no question. And it's not bad that you think that, or that's a statement, but sit back and think about it one day. Well, I'm following all this godlike ways or the preachings of the Jesus and God and the Bible. I can't say that I think maybe or might be the way it is. This is how it is.
It is.
And it may be different. You know why? It's because I'm older. And I think I was talking to somebody the other day and they said, I'm just worried about getting old. I'm worried about dying. You know, like, what is there? And I was like, well, hell, this is a perfect opportunity to tell somebody in so many words. Well, this is the point of life. We go through it. God gave us choices to do it. Make stuff better. Be God-like. But believe that after this is all over, there's going to be something else. And you get to go hang out with them.
Okay.
Up wherever it is.
Heaven.
Yeah.
Okay.
In so many words. So you're not
Otherwise,
wrong. You're not wrong by thinking that. To me, that's what's going to happen.
Okay. So in some ways I could be wrong then. Because that's the first, you know, answer to this question that I've gotten. I've gotten so many different ones.
No, you're thinking the right way. It's just, I'm just to a
You
different
have faith.
point. Yeah.
You have the faith.
My faith is not by any means stronger or better or anything. It's just I think differently. And a lot of people go through life that way, and not until the later years they're like, oh, there it is.
Do you think it hit you in your later years, or have you kind of always been that way?
I think it hit me probably midway through my life, probably when I was in my 20s, maybe early 30s. I just kind of knew it was there. And it's just gotten stronger over the years, and it made me a better person, honestly.
Okay.
Yeah.
So God has always been a prominent figure and idea in your life since a young age.
It was more of an idea when I was younger.
Okay.
Now it's more of a, this
You
is
got
how it
with
is.
your wife and
Yeah.
you started.
Yeah, and I know people that started earlier. They started when they turned 10. They're like, hey, I'm going to follow God, and this is all there's going to be.
Yeah.
And others wait until the end and near death, and they're like, you know what? I was wrong my whole life. God, you're right. That's how it is.
Okay.
It's not bad or good. It's just, you know, just some people think differently, and that's fine.
Yeah.
He gave you the choice.
Yeah.
It's like you decide to hang with me when you're 5 years old. You decide to hang with me when you're 95 years old. What's it going to be?
I mean, in the big picture, that's no time at all.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. He never said you have to follow me your whole life to come hang out with me when you
Yeah.
die. Did he? He just said, you know what? Be godlike, follow some rules, the big rules, and we'll see you in the end.
You know, I love that answer, you know, for a lot of different reasons. And I think you did a really good job of summarizing, you know, what you think. The one things that I can sort of kind of pick out from that, I can't get the idea out of my head. How I said that when you come to work, I notice. You know, I think everybody does. You know, your energy, your vibe, the fact that you're so helpful. We notice in a good way, but there's also those people that they come in and you notice they're there, but it's not in a good way.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they have a bad energy.
Mm-hmm.
They are unhelpful. They complain. You know, all the opposite things. Just as much as I notice you're there,
Mm-hmm.
I can notice that they're there too, but for different reasons.
Yeah.
So what would you say that is? That's not godlike. Are they? How would you describe that?
It's an opportunity for to make them that way.
Okay,
Help
so they're
them.
just lacking.
Push them along. What's their motivation?
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
money's great. Don't get me wrong. But is it the greatest thing in the world? No. I've
That's
seen
good.
homeless people praying.
Yeah,
I've seen the richest man not pray. Which one's happier?
yeah,
So it's a good opportunity to come in and make somebody feel a little bit better. I don't know if you see that. I try to pick those people. I don't know. I don't even know if I'm trying anymore. It just feels like I could feel the energy. Like the other day you came in, you were just kind of like, you weren't Austin. And I was kind of like, what's wrong with Austin? And I asked you yesterday or something. Hey man, were you all right the other day? Man, I'm just tired. And I was like, you sure? Is that it? And you're just kind of like, yeah. Well, maybe there was something else wrong. I'm not here to pry.
yeah,
But it's an opportunity to make somebody say, you know what, it's going to be okay. If you got a problem, let me know.
yeah,
If I can't fix it, we'll talk about it. There's, you know, the skin a cat theory. There's more than 100 ways to skin
Yeah,
a cat.
skin a
There's
cat.
more than 100 ways to figure out what's wrong with you,
yeah,
or to get you on the path to get you better, or to make you feel better. Hey, you know, what time did you go to bed last night? Midnight. Go to bed at 11.
yeah,
That's an easy fix. Is it possible? Yeah. Is it impossible sometimes? Well, yeah, it is. Sometimes you just don't go to bed when you need to, but everything's easy fix. So the people that have the bad attitude when they come in, what's going on in their lives that's making it bad? I got to get up and go to work. Oh, why do you got to go to work? I need to make money. Why do you need to make money? I need to feed my kids. Okay, are your kids healthy? Yeah, okay. So what's the problem? You know, you're going to work for a reason. It ain't just you. You're not being selfish. It's for your family. So, you know, make it better. Smile.
yeah,
Smile. Make it better. It's not that hard. If it is, I have days where it's a bad day, and I figure out a way to get around it. I yell a lot, but I figured out a way to get around it. But I try to make sure people are comfortable. You know, it's really not all about me now. It's about everybody.
yeah.
Can't take care of everybody, but you know, you gotta try.
You try.
Yeah, it's a
And
good
that's-
thing.
And that's what God is to you.
Hmm.
And if you're not doing that, then you're not, you know, being godlike.
Right.
And I'd say, you know, it's safe to observe and kind of tell at this point you don't seem like you're trying to do it. It just seems like a way of being for you. And I might be in a stage where I'm trying a little harder than you are, because I do the same. And you know, days do get to me, and you were probably right. You know, I just don't. Part of my thing is I don't like to put any of my troubles on anyone else, and it's not like I have to tell you about it to do it, because like you said, you can come around and have a bad attitude, and you're already putting your troubles on someone else without even saying anything.
Yeah.
And in that sense, I do, you know, think that everybody is generally able to make themselves better at any time. But that's why I got you here, man, because I see you do it effortlessly, and I'm like, fuck, I want to be like that.
Well,
You know, and I think I am making steps towards it.
the important thing is your mom told you, if God, take all my problems and I give them to God. When's the last time you did that?
I've been trying to do it as often as possible
Yeah.
for the last 9 months.
Yeah.
Just myself, my thoughts, my actions. That's the only 3 things that I can control.
Yeah.
Everything else, what the fuck am I gonna do about it?
Yeah.
You know, lose sleep for what?
Yeah. You lose sleep for what? You know, it's
Not gonna change it.
Take a minute out of the day. Pull over one day and just say, hey, thanks. Thanks for what you did for me today. Thanks for what you did for my family. Put the car in drive and just drive off. See how you feel.
Yeah.
It's not hard. Gratitude is, it could be the little smallest thing, you know. He gave all this stuff for you. He gave his son for you. Give him 10 seconds. Give him an hour. Give him 10 hours. Whatever you feel is comfortable. He gave you that choice to make that decision. Take it.
Hell yeah.
That's all we can do.
I love that, man.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you know, I think that's pretty good. If there's anything else, any burning desires, otherwise I just got one last question. I've been kind of liking this. I tried this out not too long ago, and I feel like it was cool. If you could go back and tell your younger self anything, any piece of advice, what do you think that piece of advice would be for the viewers? Let's help them out.
Ah, this is a good one. It could go either way. It could go good or bad. It could go monetary. It could go religious-wise. It could go any way. It could be
Number one out of all of them, whether it's in any category, whatever's the most important regardless of category. Because like you said, money is not everybody's top value.
Yeah, you know, I like money. But is it the end-all, be-all?
Would you go back and tell yourself, invest in Bitcoin?
Yeah, there would, you know, there's all those things. Of course there would be.
But you only get one.
Invest in this, invest in that. Let's see. Don't. No, I don't even know. That's a good one. That's just
Damn, we
something.
got a lot of tough questions for
That's
you
just
today,
something you'll have
man.
to sit on for a while, because that's
Okay.
a good one. You know, it could be. You know, I love my wife. I love my kids. I can't.
So what I'm almost hearing is that you wouldn't go back and tell yourself shit.
You can't.
Damn,
You can't.
that's profound.
You know, if you're in a bad spot, you say, you should have did this, but you're already in the spot. There's no going back, and
Had you not-
everything's kind of good. It's just the way it should be, right? The way it is.
Wow, that's amazing, man.
Everything kind of just is the way it is. Money's great, like I said, but in the end, you're exactly where God intended you to be.
Nice. Well, again, thank you. Thank you for coming on. Thank you for all your insight and all your knowledge and everything. You're a great influence, man.
I appreciate that,
You're a great influence, and I feel like,
and I learned from you.
oh, I hope, you know, if I could be at all any kind of way to help, like you said, you know, maybe it's different, but I do try.
That's all we could ask for.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely.
Cool. Well, Sandy, great work today, man.
Thank you, sir.
I'm shaking, bro. That was amazing. That was
That's
good stuff.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I think with that, we're probably good to close it up. Josh, we doing good? Doing good on time? Yes. All right. All right, guys. Thanks again. Tuning in, learning, growing, all that good stuff. So, bye forever. Until next time, goddamn.